All right, everybody, what's up? Crypto Muscle. Oh yeah. You know what this is? Oh yeah. Don't adjust your dial. I know you see what you're seeing on your screen here. One of my new mixes I got going on. Check it out in my what do you call it? Link tree. All right, where I got all my music mixes going on in there. Check it out. All right, and you're gonna see this was the newest one I got in there. The G Unit 50 Cent mix, I call it. And you'll see what I'm talking about. All I got to do is get in there, and you'll see what I'm talking. Let me see if I can find my link tree though. There it is, right here. Let me go right here. There we go. There it is. If you click on my link tree, it's in the description in every one of my videos, and also it's posted in my Telegram group. You'll see all the different link trees that I've done here. So pretty cool. Yeah, so you see all that there. Alright, so lots of good stuff here. Lots of good stuff. Alright, so check that out. Newest one I did, Rough Riders did about a month ago. This G Unit one I did last week. And I'm looking to do many, many more to come, alright? Many, many more to come. There's so many of them I want to mash up and put together here. So much good stuff. But anyhow, welcome back. You know, this is going to be episode 44 of the Musclecast. And yes, I know. I got my audio adjusted this time. I didn't realize my audio was set to like computer speaker or whatever, mic speakers, instead of my regular headset that I typically use. So I didn't know that that was what was going on here, because I thought it was already set, but somehow, some way, it was reset. And so I didn't realize that until I listened back, and I didn't listen back to it right away. All I did was just formatted it and then posted it right away, you know. And usually I don't listen back to my content, and people will report back to me, hey, this is what happened here, or whatever it is, and I'm just like, ah, shit. And so I just happened to listen back on it just by chance, because I didn't get any feedback on this one. And of episode 43, this was back on January 9th. All right. And so I was just like, I just happened to listen to it. As soon as I clicked play and I heard the way it sounded, like first few seconds, I was like, ah, shit, this is all screwed up. You know, and I was like, damn it. So yeah, that just sucks. It pissed me off. So you know, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I set my mic right this time and my audio right this time. And so here we are. This time you should hear me loud and clear. All right, back to where it's supposed to be, in charge. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. And so here we are, the Musclecast. All right, and yeah, I've been doing Musclecast for a little while now. Um, Majority of it was, see that back in 2020. Majority of it was, man, it was on CocoScope. That's where episodes 1 through 23 was. It was on CocoScope, and then that went away. And I was just like, oh no, and I had to find another place before CocoScope went away at that time. And so BitChute was kind of like the next best option in terms of just ease of use and things like that. And I mean, I looked at other ones too. I think the only other one I really considered was Library, which is garbage and it sucks. It's terrible. So I said, screw Library. I'll just go to BitChute for now until I find something that's like CocoScope. But all I gotta say is, just give me a little bit of time, and I think I'm gonna eventually do a triple cast, because Oracle, the legendary one himself, found another spot to utilize here. I don't know where I can find it. I just had it because I actually signed up on it, and it's just a matter of when I can use it. I just don't know where it's at right now because I signed up for it. Yes, this is that garbage Selenium project. Oh, I think it's over here. Yeah, here it is, Rumble. So here's Rumble. Something that the legendary one right here signed up on, and posted videos on here too. So could this be the next best thing going on here? Yeah. So I've been missing CocoScope. That was a great alternative to YouTube. I had a nice following as well for like being an offshoot of YouTube, and I just hope Rumble can get there too, because BitChute really doesn't do the job. I mean, it is an avenue, but it doesn't really do the job of harnessing that, like, I don't know, the viewers and the viewership and all that. It's just like whatever, it doesn't really stand out from the crowd. Like CocoScope just stood out, and so I miss that particular video sharing, what do you call it, program, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's just too bad though. They went away back in 2021, so in the midst of COVID, right? A lot of companies and stuff died during COVID, and so that was another victim, probably of COVID. They didn't say that was the reason, but it was a money related thing. So obviously during 2020, 2021, those were kind of like 2 hard years of COVID. 2022, you're pretty much, it's been kind of done with, been slowly phased away of all the COVID related type stuff, and almost like you just don't give a shit no more, type of thing. It's like it's already kind of played itself out, because that's how I view COVID now. Like, I view it as it's kind of just really played out. No one gives a shit no more. I don't personally, and never did. And I was one of the few people, in terms of where I work at, in terms of family, that pushed really hard and pushed back in terms of not getting one of those, what do you call those, COVID shots, or what do you want to call it, immunization shots, or I don't know what you call those things. I just didn't do it. I was like, no way, I'm going to put that in my body. No, I don't give a shit. And the reasons behind that is several. All right, one is my thought of what COVID is. So what COVID is a stronger flu strain, right? Okay, so stronger flu strain. Never took a flu shot in my life, so why would I start now? So that's why I was like, well, if it's a stronger flu strain, okay, why would I put another sort of COVID shot, which is just a stronger flu strain type of flu shot, in my body? And it's the same thing that's kind of like in terms of a flu shot, typical flu shot. I'm not going to put that shit in my body. And then, let alone, you take a COVID shot, no, you got to come back and do a booster shot, right? Or so some of them actually put out to where you got to do, 2 shots to get the full effect, or some bullshit immunization, talk that they try to tell you to do. I'm not going to do all that shit. That's just stupid, right? So I didn't do that. And then throughout the last couple of years, right, where they say, oh yeah, come in and do a booster shot if you took that, right? Screw that. I didn't do the booster nor the flu shot, and then I've seen people do that. And then there was another booster that came with that, after X amount of time. I'm just like, how stupid do you guys feel that you took a glorified flu shot, then took a booster, and then took another booster on top of that? And guess what? Last year, going into this year, what are they offering? A flu shot and a COVID shot. And I'm just like, come on now. There's going to be 2 shots you got to put in your body for that shit? Screw all that. So I did not do any of that, because I've never done a flu shot in my life, and I'm not going to start now. And I'm not going to do this COVID shot either. Screw all that. I've always said, though, that if it was a government mandated thing I had to do for my job, for example, and it was government mandated, whether it's state or federal, Alright, I'll do that just because well, let's just say I work for the state, alright? And with that, if it was mandated to do so, I would do it just because it's mandated as part of, I guess you could say, policy to do it, then I'll do it. But if it wasn't mandated to do it, then screw all that. No, I'm not going to do that. So that's where I stood with all that. But yeah, I couldn't believe that. Oh, I saw stuff. We get emails and stuff. Hey, take a flu shot and take a COVID shot. I was like, really? What? Double the firepower now against the flu? Come on. Now screw that. I'll just treat COVID, flu as the same thing. It's a flu. And yes, I dealt with COVID last year. I tested positive once last year. In some way, somehow, I lived through it. I'm still here, right? I'm still here, and it was actually a year ago. It was a whole year ago. It was back in January. I had it, and good thing they gave us the 2 weeks off. They gave you 2 weeks of administrative time off to recover COVID. And yes, granted, it was a stronger flu because I was taking stuff like typical night cold medicine type stuff that I would take at night, NyQuil or Contact, right? And those things are potent, all right? Because when I take things like that, and Theraflu is another one, nighttime for Theraflu, not like daytime. I'm talking about nighttime versions. Those things are so potent, it knocks me out every time, right? But COVID was so strong that I could take NyQuil in the daytime, and I was still awake. That's how potent it was in terms of COVID and how strong it was in fighting back your typical cold and flu medicine type stuff. But as time went on, I just kept at it, and I kept going at it, kept being consistent, and within 10 days, 10 days, I was pretty much probably like 95% fully recovered. First 5 days, though, I have to admit, it was rough because that thing was so strong. It felt like it was not like gonna die off anytime soon. But as those days went on, COVID just kind of just waned away in terms of its power and hold it had over you. So that was pretty cool. And that, man, what kind of it was an experience though. And then the recovery after that, just trying to just get your regular everyday strength back took a few days too. So the 2 week time off was a very good. I don't know how they estimated it, but it was a very good timeline in terms of giving you that time off and letting you get back to work after that. Because all I got to say was, man, whew, it was strong, but still was not going to put those immunizations or what you want to call those things in my body. Screw all that. So to this day, still hasn't. And all I got to say was that for many people out there, especially my loved ones too, sorry, but how stupid was it to put that stuff in your body, right? An overreaction just because you see all this stuff in the news and stuff, which I really don't watch much of the news. If stuff comes up on my phone, all right, whatever. But if that's not it, then all right, then whatever. Life goes on. I really stopped watching the news ever since let's just say I jumped into this particular profession I'm in, and I've been doing it now for let's see, where am I at? 7 years now. It's been 7 years. And now, where I'm at in this stage of my life, 7 years in, that's the last time I really, sat down and watched news. Like, I used to always have the TV on with the news on constantly, just watching the news, as I do go about things and all that. But it was always on the news channel. Whether it's local news or whatever like that, or some of the cable news and stuff. And then 7 years into this profession, I don't even do that. I rarely watch TV. A lot of my stuff is DVR. If I wanted to watch particular shows, I just DVR it, and then I'll come back and watch that from whether a lot of times I watch it at night before after I get off work. I'll watch a little bit of it before I go to bed. Or the only other really the only other time I watch TV is like on my days off. If I'm done with YouTube content, because I look at it as a job, hobby, but also a place of making crypto, right? For YouTube. The only time outside of that, and if I'm on my off days at my real job, then like that's where I could watch a little bit of TV and catch up on as well. So other than that, I mean, I think I watch more YouTube than TV, if anything, because there's just so much content on YouTube. You get stuck in YouTube vortex, and then next thing you know, you're just like, watching one thing after another, and it's like, oh man, you just can't stop watching it. But I get caught up in the YouTube vortex all the time, watching various content. And speaking of which, a lot of bullshit out there in this space. And so, with that, that's what I do. And I do that, when I'm pumping iron and stuff. Yeah, that's just one way to go about it. I monitor chats all the time in Telegram. But yeah, that's what a lot of my major focus is on, is whether it's in Telegram, Discord, and I watch a lot of YouTube, if anything, because you can just take YouTube with you anywhere you go, and yeah, it's just the content that is in there. And I watch a lot of bullshit too. So much bullshit in this space. Like I mentioned a few seconds ago, it's like, man, people just don't give up, on the bullshit. And I don't know. When I do my videos, I don't think I bullshit, and I tell it like it is, and I tell it straight up. For example, when I tell about a platform, I tell you that every platform has a story, all right? And this is what it's, making for a particular platform. And, it's whether, it's up to you if you want to take a look at it, if you like it. We're trying to look for something, opportunity to go for the long run, things like that. And then that's what it is. So, but then you got these guys, these dumbasses that will sit there and talk about bullshit stuff, like how many friends, you have the same friends, you talk to that person every day. Dude's so full of shit, man. And you guys know what I'm talking about. My next new target, all right, because Tiwi's dead, all right, not literally, but in terms of just his days of being talked about are counting down, all right. Because I still talk about him because of this whole drip animal farm fiasco that's going on right now. Let me just take a look. I want to see what the price is at. This is kind of a prelude to Solarium's dead, by the way. This is prelude to my regular Sunday episode. I don't know when you'll watch this. Because by the time you watch this Musclecast, it might be later, or it will be later than probably by the time you see this drip price action. But I'm going to look at it right now. Anyways, so 38 cents is where it's at. It's down about another cent from a day ago. Okay. Let's see here, and alright, Pigs is back down once again from 85 to 83. Alright, knew that little pump wouldn't last long. It had a little mini pump action. Dogs kind of flat. Keeps on hovering around that 1970 range. So yeah, so the days are winding down that Tiwi's dead, because once these things fade away, die, That would be the end, and exclamation point. Put a stake in it. There's no going back type of thing. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. You're dead and buried. This is the final frontier of the burial of Tiwi. Is this animal farm bullshit. Alright, and let me refresh this. I want to make sure this is the accurate number here. It's 97 million, alright. So, it's still a pretty good amount of money in there right now. I mean, when you think about it, 97 million is not, not a laughing matter. It's no joke. But had a lot more money than before, and plus, how many times has the Forex dude injected money into this total volume and all that here that they got now? He keeps on injecting that money. There's only going to be so much before he just says, you know what, I'm going to stop doing that. And so, but yeah, keep giving your money away for it. Actually, after all that you gain, you're going to keep giving it away. But enough of that stuff. I'm not going to go too deep into this. But the point of it is, because that's for the Sunday episode of the Money Tree Rect collaboration that I do every Sunday. So going back here though, that's not really the talk of this particular Musclecast. So going back to this, pretty soon I'm gonna be parlaying my focus and attention on the burial of Marcos Caleb, alright? Because Marcos Caleb is a YouTube piece of shit douche, alright, that's making his rounds right now. Alright, and he's kind of like a bits away, little mark out piece of shit that he is, and so full of shit and fake, and he thinks he's a shit, and I'm already over his bullshit, because granted, I'll give him credit. He's good at bringing people in and bringing people on board, right? And so, I'll give him that, granted, alright? But the way he goes about certain things, by the way, he's taken people from me, by the way, and it's just, because all I gotta say is, a lot of times I am the forefront of a lot of these platforms that come out, that a lot of these platforms actually go through me before it gets out there to the masses, in terms of getting that attention from others that can bring in more people, right? But a lot of times I am the forefront, and I bring in the earliest content there is for many platforms. I'm talking many of them, and I'm not I'm not talking bullshit. This is the real deal, right? Go look at a lot of my videos. A lot of the videos I got in terms of platforms, I'm the earliest in the game. And there maybe sometimes there's bigger YouTubers, there's bigger networkers, whatever you want to call it, too, that will jump in and maybe blow out numbers that I do. But a lot of times I'm the early man in it, the front runner in front of all this, right? And so that's why I just say, I laid the foundation, I laid the seeds out there, for all this stuff to happen. So now with that though, yeah, this Marcos Caleb dude, he's so full of shit. That's why I just keep being on him, because let's look at some of the things, alright? He'll talk the death of a platform, right? About all the different things about it. He'll just keep talking about it to death, doing once or twice a week, which is fine, I guess, but it's just the same old bullshit, right? Sometimes it'll be daily too, by the way, not just once or twice, but sometimes daily content of like some sort of aspect of a platform. Oh, let's do a deposit one day. Oh, let's do a web call one day. Oh, let's do a compensation plan video one day. And it's just like back to back to back to back, right? Every day there's something about a particular platform video, right? And that's just stupid, by the way. It's like, come on, really? Like, how much more milk you trying to milk out of not a dead cow, but just a cow that's already been milked out, right? And so that kind of thing. And when you look at it like that, it's like, come on now, really? And so, but again, let's talk about it, right? Besides being the forefront of everything that I do, he'll bullshit all this stuff, like he has all this inside stuff, and it's like, dude, I've been there, dude. You know, even with the same people that he's referring to, is like, I talked to those people first, or I could get a hold of those people too. You act like you're the only one. You know, you act like you have some sort of secret way of going about things, or that you're so special that you're the only one that can do it. It's like, dude, I have access too. I could contact those very same people that you're contacting, right? So that's one thing, right? And then, you know, the way he tells about a lot of these platforms, you could tell he is such a mark and a believer into it that he's going to really pull you in for believing in something so hard that when the platform does fail, and he's shown this numerous times, that he doesn't even talk about it. He didn't talk about how Novatech's failing. He didn't talk about how Solarium has failed. He didn't talk about when Manicore failed. He didn't talk about when Pegasus failed, right? He didn't talk about any of that stuff when they failed. And so that's something that he's a piece of shit on, because he'll just kind of not bring anything up for a while, and then, oh, if there's a new platform, he'll just start kind of, you know, talking about a new platform, and it's like completely ignore what has gone on or transpired from the old platform. And it's like, wow, you know, or leave people hanging if there is any sort of trouble going on with a particular platform, you know. And so to me, it's a disservice. That, how about being responsible, and if you're going to put out something to bring people in, how about put out some warnings? How about put out information that, hey, you know what, this thing is done. You know, because there could be some more people still trying to come into something that's still there, and because you talked about it before, you didn't mention nothing about it, and, you know, assume that things are good, and then next thing they go in there and, oh shit, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. You know, that type of thing. So here's an example. He talked about Novatech. Not one thing about Novatech since all this negative stuff that's been going on with the money issues, problem that's going on. But I bet that link is still out there, and people are just going to join because they're going to say, oh, okay, he's talked about it. Doesn't look like anything's going on, and all right, it's going to happen. And so, to me, he's creating a disservice for the people, because he thinks he's a know-it-all, and he's a mark for these things. And, you know, nothing about Solarium, right? What happened, man? You were so gung-ho about Solarium, and, you know, this whole thing about, oh, how to compound in the Solarium, but yet, what happened? Crickets. Alright? Manicore bothered me the most. There's a program called Manticore, and it was similar to Pegasus. And the problem with that was he negotiated with, I don't know if it was an admin or the owner of Manticore, right? And supposedly, because he was kind of acting like he was on the fence about it, so he joined, and he said that he spoke to the developer, whatever, about coming to terms with expanding his referral take in, and then the extra referral that he makes off of, he could set that aside as a pool to give to his people when things go bad. Not one thing has come out of it, not even talked about it. And yeah, so piece of shit. All right, that's all I gotta say. Because he said, oh, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I created this insurance fund that way I can help pay people back that's gonna need it. But yet, you haven't done that. So that means that all you did is just went in it and took the money, and that was it. Kept it for yourself. And so I like to call his shit out when I see it all the time, and that's all I've been doing. See that shit all the time, and it's been a constant thing. That's why I keep doing what I've been doing, because he's a piece of shit trash. All right, and when you look at what else has been going on, he's on this whole thing about compounding from the beginning. All your money back into a platform, and he's pushed real hard with this whole CoinMarketBull stuff and the compounding thing. But yet, when I put out a compounding challenge for Vortic United, why don't you take that challenge? Since you're so all about compounding in one, why don't you compound in another one? Compound against me. I told you I'll put money where my mouth is. Right? I'll put 5,000 up for that compounding plan in Vortic United. But why don't you? There's something about why he will not do it. That's what I don't get. I don't get why he will not do the challenge. If he's good at quote unquote marketing and bringing people in, I'm sure he's made a good chunk of change. But he's so gung-ho about CoinMarketBull and compounding away, but yet you will not compound a plan into Vortic United. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me that you're not going to take a challenge against somebody that's trying to offer you a challenge to prove a point here. But yet, no answer. All I see here is crickets. And all I gotta say is because he's a bitch. That's just straight up. And I'll keep putting out that challenge until the cows come home, when the thing dies. The longer he's holding out, the longer, hey, it might die. So you want to probably try to take care of this as soon as possible, right? Instead of waiting until later to finally accept my challenge. So I think what you should do is take my challenge, right? And then go on from there. I don't get that, though. And so, yeah, that Marcos dude is so full of shit. Such a piece of shit. Holier than thou, and, just all this stuff, acts like he's so righteous and all that, and all he is just a piece of shit. And it's just true. Douchebag. Alright? And he thinks he knows everything that there is in crypto. That's why his dumbass lost $20,000, because he was such a dummy when that happened. And, when you look at what happened back then, his whole thing was he was trying to do, because he thinks he's a know-it-all, right? So you try to help somebody on a Zoom call type of thing, or private call, with working on the screen, screen to screen type of thing. And the person asked if you could share the screen to help him out. So he shared his screen to attempt to help him out, but in essence, dude clicked on his wallets and took out $20,000. I was like, wow, that's so funny. Took it out from around him. And, it's stupid. I mean, it's just idiotic and stupid. I mean, how can you let somebody do that to you? I don't know. So, that's where I'm at with it. He's such a little mark-ass bits away that it's almost like he's bits away but showing his face now. Like he stood behind the camera all these years, and he came back and it's bits away without the mask and all that, or without being behind the camera. Now he's in front of the camera, and it's like, come on now, you piece of shit, and and the constant snorting lines every few minutes in the videos too, and all that. So yeah, I've been on to him, because the only reason is because he thinks he knows his shit, but he's a piece of shit. And this is where it's truly at on the Crypto Muscle Network. Yeah, maybe I'm a villain. Maybe I'm someone that ruffles a lot of feathers and all that stuff. But I do it to bring a wake-up call to everybody in crypto land, and I do create friendships and associations and all that out there in this space, and like-minded people like me and many others. I get along with people pretty well, but then the reason why I go against some of these people is because, well, they're so full of shit. There's something about them that, brings an aura of being a piece of shit trash, and that's why I go against that grain, So for a long time when I first started, as an example, I didn't run with the pack back then, but I thought the pack was cool. When you talk about like the PJ3s, Kinetic Energies, Bitsways, all those people, right? Every one of them. I listened to a lot of those channels back then that aired similar content, but they were all a pack of friends that were associated with one another. So I seen all that. I was like, wow, man, that must be a cool crowd. But after I started seeing how that crowd was a shitty crowd, then that's when I kind of moved on and really started to really pay attention to who's better out there in space, and then that's how I came across Legendary Oracle. I've told this story many times, but then I didn't even start a YouTube channel yet till even months later after that. So now this is mid-July. Now it's middle of July 2019. I had a yawn there for a second. And that's when I finally started my YouTube channel, because I started to see the bullshit that continued on with two particular YouTubers, right? Which was Bitsway and Dewan Trades. That's what he called himself, Dewan Trades. And when that came and went, that's when I started, my little old me started my berating and insults and bringing realness to the space. So as time went on, they all faded away, right? Every one of them faded away over time. And going into now, 2020, 2021, I started to really see even more bullshit in space in the likes of Tiwi, right? And remnants of that little Bloods group, right? Remnants of who's left in the space in that group. Maddie's still out there. Whale Miner was still out there. So, all these dumbasses that are still out there that, I didn't really focus on too hard, but Tiwi was the major one, because it's just the way he was so arrogant about the things he does, the things he do. He thinks he's a gift in crypto, but all you see this whole time is loss after loss after loss. He didn't prove nothing in crypto. Then tell me one thing that he proved in crypto of anything whatsoever. Nothing. Did not win a thing, and that's why he wiped himself off of YouTube. Not me. Well, I played a part, all right, but come on now, really. So he wiped himself off of YouTube, and I played a part, but he played a major part because he never gained nothing. All right, so that's why he's a big ass loser that he is today, being like me, pumping iron in the gym, because he's a loser. And now going back to shifting my focus. Now I'm looking at his markers, dude, because he just reminds me a lot about Bitsway, being a know-it-all, being a wannabe, being, act like you know everything that there is, because he thinks he's God's gift, all that stuff. And so there's a difference between being arrogant and cocky and, I guess just acting like you're the shit, versus a more humbling person like me. I feel I'm very humble. I apologize. I don't have any pride in apologizing. Whether something good happened, bad happened, whatever. I don't have a problem acknowledging if people are better than me and all that stuff. I don't have a problem with that. And like I said in the very beginning, I said, yeah, Marcos is a very good marketer. So he's good at bringing people in. But when you really look deep down into it, he's really just a piece of shit trash, because yeah, he can bring people in, but he doesn't bring the other end to it when shit hits the fan. You know, all he's so focused on is he thinks and believes the bullshit that these guys are talking about on these platforms and what they are and what they do, and he believes in it so hard that he's going to be one of those ones where he's just a crybaby, or ignore it when it comes to this way platforms play out. So that's why I'm so targeted on him right now, and I'll keep going at it too. All right, watch these Vortic United and CoinMarketBull videos. Those are like my main two videos I focus on him in hard, because I'm involved in those platforms that he's involved in. And so I'm trying to make it a point, because right now this whole CoinMarketBull thing, for example, what he's been doing is trying to tell people to go in with 1,000. Right? He's not a financial advisor, but at the same time, he'll say, yeah, he, advises putting in, what is it? He recommends putting in $1,000. All right. And to me, when you recommend and, giving advice that's not giving advice and giving advice, it's the same. All right. It doesn't matter. You can say that in a million times, which he does in his videos. Oh, I'm going to provide any financial advice. But yet, you always make recommendations. And it's like, that's kind of giving advice, dude. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, all right? So, that's what he does. And he's trying to tell everybody go in with $1,000 and compound 100%. He'll try to play it off, say, oh, but you don't have to compound 100%. You can just do 50%. But he's so on people trying to compound 100%. You got to do 100%. That's what he's on it about. And if you don't believe me, go look. Same with other platforms, right? Like, he'll try to strategically get in your head into thinking that, oh, you should put in $1,000 because this is the way to go about it if you want to produce better results. Or if you want a promo code, you got to put in at least $1,000. Come on, dude. And then at the same time, you flip the script saying that oh, but you support people that want to just put in only $50, to show and they proved to themselves that $50 is good enough. Then I don't know. It's just spinning wheels, and all he's trying to do is trying to maximize his referral potential and all that stuff. That's why he's going with $1,000. Oh, everybody go $1,000. Everybody do this. Everybody for $1,000. Get out of here with that. That's why he's a fucked up piece of shit, and I'm gonna keep attacking him for it. So that's where my stance is. If you guys want clarification on that. And so, other than that, it's been a pretty good start to the year so far. Overall, the platforms have been great. A lot of them are doing really well. It's been great, and in general, the opportunities just keep coming, and there's a lot of good ones, and I just can't wait to just continue on and see what we got in store for the upcoming days, weeks, and months we got going on in 2023. But to me, we're off to a pretty good start. A little hiccups with the hypes. All right, but it's all right though, because we got all these other mid-levels and legacy platforms that have more than picked up the slack in terms of what's going on and just earning and all that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, so I just wanted to just do another podcast, Musclecast episode. Just being here. I really had this urge to get one done, and so that's what I wanted to do, is just get it done. And so, yeah. And I always hope in terms of trying to being able to do just more than once in a month or so when it comes to my Musclecast. And if I could go back to doing the frequent ones that I was doing back then in terms of the Musclecast, I was doing like one a week literally for that first year. And then last year, and that was in 2021. In 2022, it was literally like, one a month if I was lucky, and that's how this year started out with, is one a month. So, but we'll see where it goes. Again, I do want to infuse live streaming. I'm trying to figure out now on my end when's the best time to produce it, from that point. So that's where I'm trying to go with right now in terms of how I'm going to go about doing that. And so once I get that figured out in terms of my schedule has been running super tight. Uh, I would say in terms of just everything in my life, work, crypto, working out, um, relationships, things like that, right? Family. So trying to balance it all out. All right, it's like, hey, I do what I can in terms of just trying to squeeze in time, for producing like the podcast or the Musclecast, or that is a Musclecast though, but for live streaming and all that stuff. So that's something I'm trying to figure out and try to just finagle into things. So we'll see there. And I'm going to infuse a little bit of supplement talk here for a second here. So this kind of came to my mind. I was just drinking a protein shake, a casein kind, right? Casein kind is good for like nighttime, like before you go to bed, and you drink it because it's slow digesting and it's supposed to help feed your muscles, when you go to bed and all that, while you're sleeping, and it continues to feed your muscles. So all this stuff that breaks away and all that, and it helps rebuild it, and stronger and all that. So that's casein protein, right? Casein protein though, man, that shit's gone up like crazy. So the same stuff, you could buy a 5-pound tub before for $50. And this one says before COVID, right? And all of a sudden, after COVID, the same type of thing is like up, it's like 70 something bucks now, $75, something like that. I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna pay $75 for that shit. Sorry. I'll have to kind of go down to different brands or something like that to really just take it, because the good stuff is up at $75 for that. Screw that. So now that just kind of came to mind when I was drinking a protein shake not too long ago, this casein kind. And man, the best like line of supplements I ever had was the Arnold Schwarzenegger series, right? So probably about 10 years ago, like 2013, it's like 2013, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, about 10 years ago. So Schwarzenegger had the Schwarzenegger line of supplements. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see here. So Muscle Farm, right? I'm pretty sure some of you guys might know Muscle Farm, right? They do this, the green and black MP logos, right? So they had a line of supplements that Schwarzenegger had a deal with them on, to have a special line of his supplements, through Muscle Farm. And that's what this is right here, right? So instead of the heavily looking black, it was now, green, more green, and then the opposite is black versus Muscle Farm, right? So he had a line of supplements, everything that you want to know, right? I don't know if they'll still show it here. So yeah, of course it's sold out, it's gone now, but whey, creatine, right? Mass gainers. There's other stuff that's not here, but let's see. Yeah, sleep supplement. what else? Pre-workout. I mean, everything that you think of, anything that you need in a supplement line, it was part of this Arnold Schwarzenegger line, right? Oh man, that was the best line of supplements I've ever experienced, because I literally took everything. Like I was a heavy, drinker of this mass gainer. I took the creatine, I took the pre-workouts, the sleep meds, right, where you take a dose of that to go to sleep for recovery. Took that. I mean, anything that he has in that line, I took it, right, just because it was that good. And so, man, it was the best line of stuff that I've ever experienced. And there's nothing that's been like that ever since, which has been a disappointment, right? So it's just too bad though, because that was the best thing ever. And the reason why that ended was because yeah, it says right here terminated, right? So this was terminated back in 2016. So it ran for a couple years, and what happened was, I guess they did some testing on it. Come to find out that they were using like fillers and stuff like that instead of the listed ingredients that they were showing on the labels. That they use fillers and amino spiking and all that to kind of cheapen the product. And so that really pissed him off, and he said, you know what, I'm going to terminate this relationship with you guys, with Muscle Farm, just because, you guys are just like, messing up my line, and, fuck you guys type of thing. I was like, damn, and so I went out trying to get what I could when that news came out, just because, I didn't want to, I just didn't want to run out of this stuff. But of course eventually it comes to an end, right? Because you're going to eventually run out. But I mean, I took everything. Mass, the pump, which is kind of like it's a pre-workout with no caffeine, so iron pump, which is it was good. I mean, everything was so good. I missed that. That's my favorite line. But I wanted to throw that out there. I don't know, it just kind of came to my mind as I'm doing this Musclecast. But yeah, the best line I've ever experienced. And there's been other lines, I think the next best one I've been still kind of off and on with is the Ronnie Coleman one, the Ronnie Coleman series, whatever. Let me see here. What brand is that? Ronnie Coleman Supplements. Yeah, so the Ronnie Coleman Supplements. Yeah, that's the line that I kind of off and on with. It's not the same magic, but it's there. So that's where I'm at with it right now. Not so much. Just dibble dabbling with it. So yeah, buddy, I'll give you that. That stuff's pretty potent. That's some strong stuff. That's the pre-workout. So I'll give you that. But that's just what's up with that. Like I said, it only came to mind because I just drank this protein shake. I was like, man, I just wanted to tell you what's on my mind right now. But I love doing all this content though, and there's been so much of it lately just because there's just so much to talk about. But it's funny when people dial back on what they're doing, right? I talk about it in my CashFX videos all the time. Like the bald-headed dudes, I always talked about CashFX and how great it is and all that. Have really pulled back on their videos, and one guy was saying that he's going to pull back on his and just do one a month just because of it's a lot of work and all that to do a 5-minute video. Really, come on, things like that. And there's this other guy that really rubs me the wrong way. Like he thinks, he's God's gift to everybody too, because he thinks he makes a lot of money in crypto and all that, and he has a lot of money tied to CashFX. So, you know, he puts out this front that he makes a lot of money on cash effects and through manifest, right? But manifest, half the money that's in it, he got lucky because he won some sort of contest that gave him like a $25,000 balance to put into manifest, right? How coincidental is that? But and then he also has his own money into it as well, so it's kind of split. So the earnings are split between what he put in and then what he won from that little contest. But in the end, it doesn't add up to what he was trying to say, that he makes $1,000 a day. All right, because like 800 to, I would say about 850 or so, 840, 850 were tied to cash effects, right? And then the rest of it was just crapshoot change to round it to $1,000 that he would make in a day. And it's like, get out of here with that shit, you piece of shit. You know, like, I don't know how you think you're gonna fool him, but I hope he's not fooling people, because you can see through all that he's a piece of shit too. Those are like my 1 and 2 targets right now. Is that Adam dude? His name is Adam, and he's a piece of shit. That he said he's passive and going autopilot, and he doesn't make jack shit. All right, and you know, he acts like he knows everything, but he really doesn't. Alright, and his dumbass girlfriend's fooled into thinking that he's doing something, but she's being fooled too. So you have that dude, you have that Marcos dude with his dumbass door. Yeah, but you know what? They're both stupid with their stupid girlfriends, and that's the reason why they think they're God's gift, because they got their stupid girlfriends that look up to them and they think, oh yeah, these guys are so smart and they know it all, they take care of me, and really you guys are just dildos and a piece of shit that needs to get a message sent to you directly in your face that I wouldn't mind, doing. But yeah, so they just rubbed me the wrong way. But it is what it is. We just gotta just keep it pushing, and I'll just keep pounding away on them too. So yeah, that's where it's at. And I don't know when's my next episode of this podcast going to be. I try to do more than one a month, and I just get caught up in just a wave of things I got to do. And so, hopefully we could, again, like I said, make it more frequent than what I've been doing. And only time will tell, right? But yeah, so one of the things I want to do is I want to try to incorporate the content into the Rumble site and bring back the fully 100% uncensoredness that I've been doing. And when I say that is because I want to incorporate the music into it. I think the music elements, if I could bring that back into my intros and things like that, at least for the podcast, it'd be kind of cool to do. And I only would be able to do that here on BitChute or on Rumble. And then I do have my YouTube secondary channel. So I was thinking about putting like a clip every time I post a video on these channels. I'll probably make a clip of some sort to say, hey, go watch my new video, it's ready now, right? And then it'll direct you to these avenues of watching my uncensored, fully 100% uncensored Musclecast, right? So we'll see what happens with that. And then, of course, trying to figure out the time now to do my live streaming and all that stuff. That's really what I want to do. And so, again, work in progress, and we'll see what happens, right? And that's all we can do. So, I just want to say thanks for joining in. This time my mic is right. And we'll see what happens from here. But yeah, thanks again for coming on in and listening to this. And this is something that it's just you could listen to while you're working out or driving and all that. No, not necessarily have to read the screen or watch the screen or anything like that. And so, yeah, just support everything I got going on, all my channels, my Telegram group, and if you want to, the platforms and all that stuff as well. So again, thank you for all your support, everything else that you are. And I wouldn't be here without you guys. And so other than that, I'll see you in the next one.